Welcome back to the We All One podcast. This is episode number 19. Before we start the podcast, I want to let you guys know about our sponsor today, Hygia Cold Press. For all your sea moss protein butter needs, make sure you visit HygiaColdPress.com. Use code WeOn1, all one word, at checkout to save on your order. We've been busy, Bells.
I feel like every single episode that we do together, we always say that. We've been busy. Like, we always have something going on.
We do, though. That's crazy.
So Arya went back to school, and so that's why we've been kind of all over the place lately.
Yeah.
And a part of me was kind of like, once she goes back to school, she's out of the house, right? Because I work from home. So she's here with me all summer. And so it's like really hectic around here. And so I was kind of like, once she goes back to school, like, hell yeah. Like, I have the house to myself. But then, like, thinking of her going back to school was honestly really hard for me.
How come?
Well, I had really, really bad anxiety the first week that she went back to school. Well, all summer I had bad anxiety, honestly, thinking
Just
about
all
it.
the shit that's been happening.
Yeah, like
Hell
all
yeah.
the school shootings, and it's just been really crazy. Me and David went back and forth. Well, just me. I went back and forth because I kept telling David, like, I don't know if I want to re-register her for school. Like, I don't know. I started looking into like homeschooling.
Yeah, that was like a real big that was like an actual thing that me and Belinda went through, where we were really deciding whether or not, like, was sending her to school like a real option. But I think at the end of the day, we kind of like had to realize, like, we can't take away like an experience from her just from like living in our fears.
Because anyone that knows our daughter, she's a in-person type of
Learner.
girl. Like, she's
I think she gets that from me.
She's an in-person learner. Like, she loves to be at school. She loves to like meet people and like be with teachers. Like, she needs that what is it, like, social
interaction?
Yeah.
Like that social interaction. Like, I think that for her, she's definitely like one of those people that, like, she's like a hands-on learner. So like she's a visual learner, hands-on learner, so she has to like see everything, be around people, be in a surrounding, and feel comfortable enough to, like, ask questions and stuff like that. Because I feel like that's what like hindered her a little bit.
Yeah, so I struggled with that. Like, I just didn't want to send her back. Everything was just like really terrifying to, all the videos you see of like the school shootings, everything on the news. It was just triggering me really bad. And so that's why I kept going back and forth. Like, do I re-register her or not? Like, is this really the best thing for her? But we ended up doing it. We still put her in school. But the first week was just so hard on me.
Yeah.
I was crying every single day, like all day. Like, I just couldn't stop crying because I was just so scared to put her on the bus. Like, just like the thought, you put your kid on the bus, but are they going to get off the bus? Like, it's just really scary. So
yeah, no, that's like one of those things where, like, it's even hard talking about it because it's one of those things that you don't even want to like put out there and, kind of like linger out there for like it to possibly ever even be a thing.
Like, you think about it, like, oh, heck yeah, like, I want these kids to go back to school, right? And then once it was actually happening, I was like, you know what, like, I don't even want to joke like that anymore because I don't even want her to go back to school because it's scary. Like, parents shouldn't even have to feel scared to send their kids to school.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really big problem. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's really hard to like even talk about it sometimes because like how sensitive that subject is.
Yeah.
Like, I try not to push that shit, but like, at the same time, it's like you have to, be socially and like aware and conscious that like these things happen, and one of the like worst things that you ever have to do as a parent is to like have a conversation with your kid about like what would happen if like there was an active shooter, like, and shit like that,
Yeah, so our daughter is only 7, and I do feel like she's actually too young to have that conversation with her. But because of everything that happened in Texas, we did have to have that conversation because one of her friends actually told her about what happened. So right before she told us that she knew, me and David did have that conversation. Like, is she too young for us to tell her like what's going on in the news and stuff? And we decided she was too young. We weren't going to have that conversation with her. We weren't going to tell her.
Yeah.
But then she actually came home herself and told us that her friend told her, and she was really upset about it. She was actually having nightmares, so it was just, it's like, it's hard to have that conversation with them, but you have to. So we did like tell her like a couple things, like if that happens and stuff, and then sending her back. we actually got her this watch where we can call her, we can text her, we can track her, and that honestly has helped me a lot. We got it for her
Right.
before
Yeah.
summer,
Yeah,
like right before summer,
After the whole
and
Uvalde thing.
yeah, that's when we
Like that
got
was
it
literally
for
like one
her.
of the reasons why we decided to even do it, because even like then, like before that, like we know that she's like too young for like a real phone, but we
She really
also
wants a
yeah,
real
but she really
phone.
wants a real phone because she thinks she's like 12 or something. But we had to really have that conversation and really think about, like, do we want to give her a phone? How when is the appropriate age for one? And I feel like that's all really just subject to like the parents and shit like that. That's something
What
that
is the appropriate age?
like I said, like that. I feel like that's
I
just
got
like
mine at 12.
I didn't get my first phone until like 14.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
12 is a good age.
I feel like
Maybe
yeah.
10. I don't
I don't
know.
know. I think 10 might be a little too early.
I don't know. So we ended
It's
up
just
getting her the
yeah.
watch though, just so that we can have some way to communicate with
Yeah.
her. And we used it all summer whenever she would go outside to play with her friends, just so that we knew where she was and
Yeah.
like she knew when to come home and stuff. But yeah, so we got her the watch, and that has been helping us. Not sponsored, by the way, but it should be
It should be
sponsored.
sponsored.
Yeah, but
So we're not gonna say the name of the watch, but if you want to know the name of the watch, DM us and we'll send you the name, because they're not sponsoring us yet.
honestly, I kind of blame TikTok for a lot of my anxiety. Like,
You
I
do.
love that app,
You-
but every
dude,
single video that's on there,
like,
it just gives me such bad anxiety, like
legit.
thinking about.
Up until like last night, I'm like, Belinda, why are you even watching this shit? Like, you can't like, but like, I started like watching it and like looking at it, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna have a fucking.
It's
like,
because
you
a
can't even
bunch of
handle it.
thing is very like informational
It's
too.
interesting, yeah, but
It's
like,
just to see like everything that's going on in there, like.
yeah,
But then all the stuff that like happens to kids too. Like, I've been seeing so many videos of kids like crying at school because of bullies and stuff,
yeah.
and I'm like, damn, like it just gives me such bad anxiety like watching the
I don't know.
videos.
I
But
can't do like that's another thing too. Like that's another topic that like I just feel like I'm not. I don't even think like I'm ready for that shit. Like for Arya to come home and say that there's like a bully and shit like that. Like obviously, you're gonna have to like step up and protect your children at all costs and shit. But like, to what point is like when do you feel like it should be like enough is enough and you have to go like talk to a teacher?
right, listen,
know?
I'm gonna go straight to the parents and we're gonna fight. I'm
See,
gonna skip the whole school
yeah.
step.
At
Yeah.
that point, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's been a lot going on, and I feel like that's what's
Yeah, you know what else I've been seeing on TikTok lately? The napkin on the door handles on the car.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, that's
Jesus
literally
Christ.
been triggering
Like,
the
look,
shit out of me.
a part of me like is even just like, man, I feel like people are just making these videos to make
No,
them.
I don't think they're made up at all.
No, I
At
don't. I'm
all.
not saying like it's not made up, because like that's a fucking thing. Like there is people who get kidnapped and put into like human trafficking and shit like that. And that shit's fucking horrible.
Oh, you're saying like you think that they make up that it happened to them?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
okay.
I'm saying.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean,
For the views.
for the views,
I
exactly.
don't know.
Like, you
That's
don't know.
crazy to make something like that up. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
like there's people who made up a lot. Like there's like a lot that's been made up just to fucking take it there.
Yeah, maybe. But something that actually happened to me, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I
Are you
really
talking about
and
Walmart?
yeah. And okay, I was at Walmart, and I don't like to go to Walmart. I'm one of those people too that is like, I'd rather
Go to Target.
go to Target. But I don't remember why I went originally to Walmart. It was for something specific that Target didn't have, or else I would have just gone to Target. But it was like, I think I left the house like at 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
And I just told David, like, let me
Which
just go
is
to
way too
Walmart real
late.
quick.
Which is way
Yeah,
too
and
late at
David
that.
is always telling me, like, no, don't go to the store this late. Like, it's too late. Just wait till tomorrow. But I'm like, the kids are already sleeping. Like, I'm just going to go, like, to go by
I don't see the point
myself.
of that. Like,
So that
it's-
I could be by my damn
but this is
self
the
for a
thing,
little
it's like-
bit.
But like you could do that on the drive to like go pick it up. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you could literally just do the same thing in the morning.
No, I can't because I work
you
in the
can.
morning.
Well, what about like when you whatever? I'm not
Okay.
doing this.
So I went and it was 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
And then I got there and I'm shopping and I'm fine. I'm minding my goddamn business. And then this random man comes up to me and he asked me for money. And I was like, I was honestly so caught off guard that I like didn't really take in what he said, and like I just got scared that this man just came up to me like out of nowhere. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I don't have any." And I honestly didn't. Like I didn't have any cash on me that day. And
Would you have gave it to him anyways?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
I
Like,
don't think I would.
I don't know. Like, I feel like I was just so
Yeah.
caught off guard and thinking about it. Even if I did have cash, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's creepy. But so I ended up saying like, no, I'm sorry. I don't have anything. Like, I don't have anything. And he just like looked at me up and down and he walked away. He didn't say like, okay.
He got mad that you
thanks,
didn't
or-
want to get that you didn't have money.
He just like walked away. And then I was kind of like, I started shaking because I was like,
You got scared?
I was just caught off
Scared,
guard
yeah.
that this random man came up to me.
You were startled.
Yeah. And so then I was just kind of like, damn, what was I doing? Like, what was I looking at, you know? Then I'm looking back in the racks. I was in the kids' clothes at that time. And I was like looking through the rack. And then all of a sudden, like I look up and this man is just staring at me, a different man from the first man. And he's just staring at me. And then I look at him and then we make eye contact and I'm just like straight staring at him like, what the fuck? You know, where the fuck did this dude come from? And then he walks away and he starts whistling. And then I was like, what the fuck? Like, did I really, like, a part of me was kind of like, did I really hear a whistle? Or
Is it all in your head?
Is it all in my head? Like, am I just like, you know, because I was shaking already. So I
Yeah.
was like, is it just me? Like, am I just freaking
Like, is
out?
it your head playing just tricks on you and shit
Yeah.
like that?
And then another man comes out of nowhere and he didn't stop the way the second guy did. He just like looked at me, we made eye contact and he kept going and then that guy whistled.
But like, did you confirm that they were together?
Okay, no, I didn't. I don't know. Okay, because I mean, it all, like all three of them just randomly like
Whistling and shit?
are whistling and like in the same area as me. Like they had to have been together. I don't know. But then after the third guy walked away, he whistled. And then that's when I got scared because like both dudes whistled and then the first guy had actually came up to me. So then that's when I actually called David and I called him and I was like, hey, like this guy, and I'm telling him and he's like, stay right there, like look for a worker and I'm gonna go get you. But the kids were literally about to go to bed. So I was like, no, it's fine. Like, just stay on the phone with me because I don't want to make you get the kids, like, you know, out of the house and stuff right before they're supposed to go to bed. And he's like, no, because what if it is something like just find a worker and stay there and, like, don't walk to your car alone. And I was like, okay. And I'm walking around trying to look for a worker. But again, this was like, it was already like 9:00. And, you know, towards the end of the night, there's like no workers around, like ever. And it's fucking Walmart. There's like never any fucking workers, like ever. And so I'm walking around trying to find like someone. And then I'm in the food aisle, like looking for a worker. And then I turn around and the first guy was just at the end of the aisle, just staring at me again. And so then I start freaking out and I'm like calling David again, like on the phone. And he's like, okay, I got the kids in the car. I'm going like just go towards the front of the store. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like walking fast and then I can see the guy like behind me. And then I go to the checkout registers because there was like one worker there at the checkout, like the self checkout. And I'm like ringing up my stuff. And then I'm telling the worker like, hey, like, can you call security? And the worker was like, oh, can you just go to like the front desk? And then I was like, okay, like that's fine. And then I like walked to the front desk and I looked back and the guy was gone. So I was just kind of like, okay, like
whatever.
I don't know where he went. Like, all right, whatever. And then there was no one at the front desk. Like, I don't know if like the service desk closes at a certain time. Probably, I don't know. But there was no one there. But I saw like a worker, two workers like right by the door. So I went to them and I'm telling them like, hey, like, can you call security? And they said that they didn't have security that night. And they were like, no, I'm sorry, we don't have security tonight. Something about like, I think like security called off or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, there's this man. What kind of
security are they hiring?
I don't know. And I was like, okay, well, there's this man. And then I'm telling them the story. And they're like, and the two ladies freak out and was like, oh, really? Like, what's he look like? And they're like freaking out. And they're like, well, we don't got security here.
They're like, we don't got security.
They're like, well,
we're not going to get kidnapped, so you're fucked. You're fucked.
And I'm just like, oh my God, y'all don't got security today? And I was just like, okay, well, can I just stand with you? Like, I don't want to walk to my car by myself. Like, my husband's on his way. Like,
should have looked at it like, it's hard to kidnap three of us, bitch. Yeah. Like, bitch, you gotta do something.
I swear. And then she's like, sure. I mean, we could stand here, but like, I don't really know how much I could defend us. And like, I'm like, oh my God, lady, it's fine. Like, if I'm standing with someone, I doubt someone would like approach me, you know? So I'm just like, it's fine. Like, can I just stand with you? And like, I'm
Hey,
just
like,
so
what if you guys are just
aggravated.
standing there, then, like they walk up, they're like, "You."
I was just so aggravated. And then finally, like, David gets there. He calls me. He's like, hey, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at the door. Like, just walk out and I'm going to follow you to the car. And
It's
I'm
me
like, okay.
pulling up like the fucking white knight that I am.
Yeah, okay. And then and then I like walk into my car. I honestly didn't think about the whole like napkin thing
Yeah.
on the door handles at this time.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of was just so scared and like I wanted to get in my
Which-
car that I just opened it really quick.
Which, by the way, hold on, I'm gonna cut you off. If everyone's getting these fucking napkins and you're still putting fucking napkins on cars, don't you think that's a little stupid?
No,
Like, you
because
don't
what
think
if some people don't know about
Like,
the
if
napkins?
y'all niggas is not watching TikTok, they're onto your game.
What
Like,
if some people don't know about the napkins? And
That's
then
true.
I also saw that this one girl, she had like really long nails and she said that she picked up the napkin with her nails. But then once she took off the napkin, you know, whatever was on the napkin was still on the door handle.
Mhm.
So once she then reached for the door handle, it still got on her, and then that's when, you know, she started to feel like
tingling
she
or
couldn't
whatever.
she couldn't feel it anymore.
Yeah.
And then she had to go to the hospital. So even if you take off the napkin, like it's still on your door
Like, it
handle.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, but so
Then
I
what do
didn't
you
think
do?
about
Then what do you do?
I think if you see the napkin, you're just supposed to call the cops right away. I don't know what they do. I don't know, maybe they clean it with something. I don't know. Maybe I should call the police and ask.
I mean, that would Walmart security is obviously not fucking cutting it.
Right. But so then, okay, like I was just in a rush to get to the car, right? I didn't even think about checking for napkins or nothing like that. I honestly didn't even think about like checking to see if he was there, like behind me or whatever. I just ran to my car and David was right there anyway. But I get inside my car and then David's like, what does he look like? And then I pull out and we're starting to like get out of the parking lot and we're passing like the doors of Walmart, like the entrance and the exit. And the man was right there outside and he was just standing there and like I just kind of looked at him and then he just kind of looked at me and he was just staring, right? Like
Yeah.
I was on the phone
He
with
just
David.
he was like standing outside of the Walmart and he just looked. I looked at him like, bro, I dog shit out of this guy right now.
I had David on the phone like on speaker and I'm like, David, that's him, like that's him, and David had the kids in the car. I feel like you would have gotten out and you would have said something if you didn't have the kids in the car.
Yeah, I would have been out like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is your problem, you fucking weird ass dude?
One thing about
You wanna
David
square up, bitch?
is he's gonna fight.
Then
He's
you
gonna fight.
You square up, you little bitch.
But so then like we're driving home and we went like a way home that we don't usually go
Yeah.
home. That's something that we do too. Like we
We
try to
I
we try to switch it up all the
never,
time.
like,
Never take
especially
the
like
same way
just
home.
like me being me, like who I am, like I'll never take
Yeah.
the same way home.
Yeah.
Never, nothing.
But you
I
know
don't go to the
what?
same. Every couple months I switch it up. I don't even go to the same Dunkin' Donuts or nothing.
What
y'all,
the heck?
y'all motherfuckers is not gonna catch me ever.
You know, one thing though that I didn't think about until
What?
like after this happened is a lot of people whenever they say like people are following them and stuff, a lot of people say like to check your car for what are those things called? The trackers.
Like the air tags and shit.
Yeah, like air tags. Like
Those
supposedly
things are
people
expensive.
supposedly
So
people
if
put
you're look, if you're about to spend $50 on a fucking air tag to kidnap somebody, that better be the fucking one.
Well, you know what? I'm
I'm
triggered.
kidding.
Oh my god.
Jokes.
That's something that I didn't think about to check for the air
Air
tags, the
tags?
trackers or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm still here though, so
Well, don't
I
worry.
guess I
We'll,
didn't put one
we'll,
on.
go, we'll go sweep the. We'll go sweep your closet or something. I don't know,
Sweet my
or
closet.
like whatever it was, or the fucking garage to see if it fell off of the car.
The closet?
I don't know.
What? I'm dead. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, that's what happened to me.
Hey, look, you're laughing.
Honestly,
You're laughing a little bit too much at me. Like I didn't come rescue you. All right, because them two bitches at Walmart was not gonna do shit for you. Okay, I pulled up like Batman. I got the kids in the car like Robin, Cat Girl. Let's go. We gotta go get mom. Axel was looking at me like goo goo gaga. I was like, come on, motherfucker, let's go.
oh my god, I can't stand you, dude. Anyway. That's what happened. We really don't know if
Yeah,
it
we
was
don't know.
something.
Like
I feel like it was something
Yeah.
because why the fuck these two guys like
Yeah.
were whistling? Like, I feel like a whistle is like a signal, right? Like,
Yeah.
this girl's by
Yeah,
herself,
like
come
in all
get her.
seriousness, like I know we're joking and shit like that, but like on some real shit, if you know, especially
We
like
weren't
women,
joking
yeah,
when
like,
it happened.
yeah,
like,
when it
I was
happened,
like shaking.
yeah,
I
it
was
was like on
freaked
some serious
out.
shit. Like,
Honestly, ever since that, I have not gone to the store at night.
I feel
I
like
honestly
looking
should have
back at
just
it
listened
now,
to
yeah.
you that day when you
You
were like,
should've.
go in the morning.
Go in the morning, and
I don't know.
and even then, it's like you're never really safe because you know. Not to say that like women can't protect themselves and shit like that, because I'm sure there are women that can.
But it happens during the day.
But it happens at
all
all
the
times.
time.
It happens at all times, but it's less likely for it to happen during the day because of the witnesses and just the amount of shit that's going on during the day. So if you can go to the store during the day, do your errands at the day, do anything that you possibly have to do that it's gonna make you be put in a vulnerable position during the day where there's people, there's witnesses. Take a friend. Never go by yourself.
Me, I love shopping by myself
Listen to your
because
fucking husband.
I just don't like to go with you to the store
You just don't like to
because
listen.
no,
You
you
don't like
rush
to listen.
you rush me, and like I just want to like
That's a conversation for like a different podcast.
like
because,
I never go to the store with a list. The store tells me what I need.
Nah, fuck that. I go to the store.
And, like,
I know.
you're always
I know what,
rushing
but
me.
it's because I go to the store. I know what I'm buying.
Right, but I don't.
I don't have to try anything on. Men don't try shit on because we know it fits. We know our size and jeans.
I don't even like grocery shopping with David because David's like, oh, just buy it all online. And I'm like, no, what if there's something inside the store that I'm going to need and online doesn't have it?
Then maybe it wasn't.
But David's just not.
Nah, I'm not
I just
patient.
don't, you know.
I don't got the patience to go to the store and like before I even go to like the mall to buy a pair of shoes, I like.
He needs to see like. He needs to see online first. Do they even have it and stuff like that?
Yeah, like I'll call up there. I'm not gonna waste my time. I'll call the employer. Be like, yo, is it there? Do you got the 9.5 or do you got a 10? Do you got both of them? Double check. I'm being for real. Double check.
I'm laughing because this is literally him, and like, it's so annoying.
Nah, this is not annoying. This is fucking double proofing shit. You know what? What does that say? Measure twice. You don't have to redo the work or whatever. It's the same shit with just like if you just think about it, you think about what you're gonna do. Like she won't send me to the store without a list.
No,
because I'm not about to go and just walk around and be like, well,
no, he's not like that. Like if I need him to go to the store and buy something, he needs a list, or he's like, I'm not going without a list. Like he's like, no, I'm not going.
Because then, first of all, if I miss something, it's your fault.
Oh, okay.
It's your fault, not my fault.
Good to know.
You didn't put it on the list.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of TikToks too, like not even just Walmart. Well, lately I've seen a shitload of TikToks from people getting like followed at Walmart. But lately I've been seeing some at Target too.
Yeah, but I feel like Target
it's like everywhere.
But Target, like we know personally, like they actually have a real like security team and shit
That's
like
true.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
they got professionals.
Bells will stop flight at one point.
Oh my god, stop.
You're like Data and Craig. You were type flight security.
I was security at Target once. I was pregnant.
Pregnant as fuck. But literally tried to do a takedown.
I had just got the job, and a month later, I found out I was fucking pregnant.
You're welcome.
And I was like, damn, how I'm finna stop motherfuckers with the belly. There was actually some people who used to look at me like, you're security and you're pregnant. Like what are you gonna do?
If I'm gonna go shoplift and like you came up to me like 8 months pregnant, I'm just looking at you like, bro, like don't even do
no,
this.
I used to stop a lot of people
I probably would have gave up. I probably would have been like, here you go.
No, like, you know what? When I was pregnant with Arya, I was actually really small. So you couldn't even tell like over my uniform.
Yeah. For a while.
Yeah.
Until you were like literally right there. Right,
yeah. Like Towards the like literally
like
the
8
end.
and a half, 9 months.
Tell.
That's when you were like already.
But before that, I used to put like this huge jacket over like my uniform. So you couldn't even really tell I was pregnant, honestly. That's true. Only like during the summer you could tell, obviously, because I didn't have my jacket on.
You were wearing like dresses and.
I'm talking about my uniform. Forget it. Okay, that's not the point. Anyway,
back to the subject.
Yeah, but even like shopping with the kids, I actually don't like going to the store with the kids because unless I really, really have to go to the store with the kids.
Listen,
not because my like, well, one because They fucking ask for shit, obviously, all the
Dude,
fucking time.
I took Axel to Home Depot. He bought like a fucking chocolate bar, and he's like crying in the car because I won't let him eat the chocolate in the car. I'm like, bro, I don't want you to choke. I just want you to get home. Like, I don't like. It's not even that I want to keep the chocolate away from
I know.
you.
Axel actually, he as soon as he sees something that he wants to eat,
He'll unwrap
he'll
it.
tell you like, open it right now. Like, I need this right
And I was
now.
like, bro, let me pay. I literally looked at him dead in the face, like, bro, let me pay for it. Like,
I actually just open it for him. I don't really give a fuck. Like, I'm that mom where if he wants it right now, listen, I'm gonna give it to him right now because I'm not gonna have him screaming. And then y'all finna be looking at me like, oh my God, like, look at that little kid and look at that
that's
mom
a
who
good
can't
point.
control
That's a
like
good
her
point.
kid. That's why, like, I just let him eat it and then I
Okay.
scan the wrapper. Like, you know, I don't care. Whatever. And
guess.
who's gonna tell me something? I'm gonna pay for it regardless.
Yeah,
like, so
that's
I'm
true.
gonna give it
I
to
mean,
him.
that's true.
But that's not even the point.
We're
Okay,
at the
so
store, Bells opens up a pop and just look at her like, can you wait?
no, I do. I be opening anything.
Like, I don't need this attention right now. I don't need the police.
There was
coming
one
up.
time where Axel, he really wanted these brownies. It had like little sprinkles on it. He ate, I think, like 4 of the
Are you talking
brownies.
about the little Debbie brownies and shit?
Yeah,
The ones that he
ate
like
4 of them in the store while we were in the checkout lane.
Preface the story how you got them for Aria for like a school snack.
I did. They were for Aria.
So you got them for Aria. Axel saw them, busted them open at the store, and by like the time they got home, there was
we
like
only
5
had
left.
2. Yeah,
It was like 5
we
left.
barely had any left because it was like a small box. The fucking Axel, man. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so I don't like to take him to the store because okay, this is like, okay, so when you're walking to your car, like let's say someone is following you, right?
Right.
Arya can get herself in the car, and I've actually had this conversation with Arya before. Like, I always tell her, like, when me and you are at the store and we're walking to the car, we need to walk really, really fast, and we need to jump in the car, okay? Because you never know who's following us. You never know if someone wants to kidnap us or kidnap you. Like, so you need to jump in that car right away, okay? And she always says, like, okay, mommy. Like, she kind of gets, like, scared, and I try to, like, not scare her, but I try to make it a game. Like, I'm always...
Yeah, I can picture you like, you need to jump in the car right now.
No,
but then
I like
the shit out of her.
very first time I was like, yeah, I just sound like that. Like, I sounded kind of, I sounded crazy. Like, I was just like, you need to jump in the car right now, okay? And like, but then like now I make it like a game. Like, I'm like, oh my God, who can get in the car faster? Like, and we're like running to the car.
Yesterday on the phone.
Yeah, walking home from school too. Like, because there was this car. And there was this man in there, but
Tell him what kind of car. Tell him what kind of car. Hey, don't slam my headphone. Don't slam my shit. You better tell him what kind of car.
It was a ComEd truck.
It was a fucking ComEd truck.
It's because, dude, I have such bad anxiety. I don't know. No, that's what they want you to think. They want you to think that they're with ComEd, but they're really not. It could be a stolen ComEd truck. I don't know. I've never seen the dude. Like, this car was just like randomly parked. If he was doing his job, why was he in the truck? Why was he just sitting in there? He was just sitting in there. And he's like looking at his phone. I don't care what he's doing. I don't know him. So then I call David. I'm at the bus stop and I'm like, David, there's this man in this car. And he's like, what does the car look like? Well, he's like, he's like, what does the car look like? And then I'm telling him, I'm like, it's a ComEd truck. And David's like, what the fuck? It's just ComEd. Like, why are you tripping?
Get off my phone.
And I was like, no, dude. Like, I don't know. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust, like, I'm just always looking around my surroundings and stuff. Like, I just don't trust anyone. And I'm like, David, can you just stay on the phone, like, just so I can get Arya from the bus and like walk home and stuff? And he's like, all right, that's fine. And then Arya gets off the bus and I'm like, Arya, who do you think could run to the house faster? And David starts laughing and like we're like running and he can hear like us running on the phone, you know? And then like we get home and I'm like, oh, I told her to run because you know that man's in the car. And Dave's like, it's just ComEd.
When I used to work from home, I went to go get Arya from the bus one time and she gets off the bus and she's like, I'll race you to the house. And I looked at her, I'm like, I'm not running. Like, you can run.
It's because of me. Because I'm always like, we need to get
like
inside
books
right
it,
now.
And I'm just like looking around like, why are you running?
Because that's what we do. We run home because you don't know who's looking. It's because you don't know who like watches your daily routine.
It's
like,
different because it's you because you're a woman. I'm not. I'm about to look, bro. If you want to kidnap me, you're going to have to earn this. You're going to have to earn this booty. You got to earn it. You got to earn this motherfucker, bro.
It's just like as a woman, like it really sucks that I have to think like this. Like, and it sucks that I have to like think like this as a mom too, where I'm like, you know, telling my daughter like, who can run to the house faster? Like, you know, like I'm trying to think of like games so that she doesn't freak the fuck out because she like gets easily scared of things. So like I have to think like, Arya, like, who can run to the car first? Like, you know. It's not funny.
It's not
It's not
funny,
funny,
but
but
like
like
I'm like
it's funny.
thinking about
It's
it. Like,
funny
yeah.
because like I really freak out
It
over
and
anything,
I
you
know
know.
I know we're probably like sounding like we're like like almost like
We're bad
insensitive.
parents or
Yeah, like we're
something. No,
insensitive, but
no, I'm a great mom. Okay, like I do this because I don't want my kids to get kidnapped. I don't want myself to get kidnapped,
such a good mom. I made
and
her a mom again.
and so like she can get
Yeah.
herself in the car, but with Axel, like oh man, like putting him in the car seat, like I'm always like checking my bag. Like I'm putting him in the car seat and I'm
Excuse me.
like checking my bag, putting him in the car seat, strap another one, turn around, like make sure no one's behind me. Cause I feel like I saw that on TikTok too. Like,
Oh
you know,
man, I'm about
when
to
you're
delete this
putting,
app off of your fucking phone.
when you're putting like a kid in their car seat, like that's when they're gonna grab you because your back is turned so you can't see like who's behind you. And so I freak out. I freak out
Yeah.
every time I'm putting Axel in the car seat
I
because
don't
I'm
even
like,
think
oh my
about
God,
it.
please don't grab me.
I don't even. I think I don't even do that. Like I literally take him. I put the
Well,
bags in
because
the
you
car.
don't have to worry about
Yeah,
nobody
like
stealing you.
yeah, like I go put him in the car. No, I don't put him in the car. I put the stuff in the car, and then I take him with me to go put away the cart, and then I just hold him.
What? Wait, what? Say it again.
So like I go, I put the what like say it's groceries. I go
Mhm.
put the groceries in the car. He's still out of the car, like he's not in his car seat. I then take the cart, put it in the little lane, and then I take him out and I put him in the car.
Well, no,
So
yeah,
he literally he does everything with me.
no, yeah, that's what I do too. But I'm saying like once I do put him in the car, I have to strap him, but my back is turned.
Yeah.
It's because I'm a woman, so I just freak out just because I don't know. You never know.
Uno nunca sabe.
Period. Period.
My mom once said.
Everybody. Well, I'm actually a huge person like that. You're not, right?
No.
You don't like it when, because I'm
Nah.
always like, I always say like, si Dios quiere for
See, like, this is
everything,
the
for
thing, it's
everything.
like-
And David's always like,
Come on, bro,
really?
like chill out. Like it's not that deep. We're gonna go to the farm tomorrow. Like we're gonna go pet the ponies.
Every
Like
time we're
you're
trying to
gonna get
make
off the
plans,
phone.
every time we're making plans, like I always tell David, like, si Dios quiere.
you know what's funny?
And David's always like, we're
I'll
gonna
call my
go.
mom. I'll call my mom, and then like I'll be talking to my mom like when she comes out here to visit, and I'll be like, yeah, like you know, we'll make plans. She'll be like, yeah, si Dios da licencia. I was like, mom, you don't even fucking drive. What license are you looking for?
The
Like
license of God.
Yeah, okay. Hey, everybody with a suspended DL, that's exactly what they're driving with right now.
Honestly, yeah, whatever. Anyway, okay, so other than my anxiety, something else that has happened, Axel started daycare. Man, you know what? Like, let's talk about fucking daycare because I've heard a lot of people say like
That shit's expensive
they
as fuck.
have to like be put on a wait list right as they're born and stuff because the wait list line is like forever. I honestly didn't believe that because when we
was gonna
put
say-
Arya in preschool,
I think
she
we
was
looked
3,
Yeah.
and they actually had a spot open like right. But I guess preschool is different than daycare, so I guess that's why I
but then
didn't
you
think
also
of it.
you also have to think about it like this though. It's like it was different times. Like even though like they're not
Yeah,
that
that's
much of a
true.
difference, like this like Arya went to preschool pre-COVID.
Yeah,
Like Axel was born during the pandemic, so they were shut down. They were like, we're not even taking new people. Like we'll wait until
Right.
so that's why we were on a wait list. So I don't think it usually takes 2 fucking years.
right. Okay, so when the pandemic happened, a lot of daycares actually closed because like the teachers were getting more money, or like the daycare caregivers or whatever, they were getting more money to be at home than to actually be a caregiver.
Yeah.
So a lot of daycares closed. We actually had a lot that were around us, and once we were ready like for Axel to go to daycare, which was when he turned 1, we were calling like all the ones that were around us, and all of them were like, hey, I'm sorry we closed during the pandemic, like I no longer have that daycare.
Yeah.
And
Which
I
is
was
sad.
like, what the hell?
It was just
Yeah.
kind of sad because it's like to some people, like I look at it both ways. Like that's somebody's like living, and then that's also someone's like help. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
parents who really need that help and shit like that, and who like, and then there's also kids who are like only kids who benefit from. That's why we put Arya in preschool because
Oh, yeah, 'cause
we
she
felt
was
like
the only kid.
she was the only kid for 5 years, and she benefited from that a lot because she was able to be around kids her age, kids that were older and younger. It kind of helped her develop like those like early on
Yeah.
skills and shit.
Yeah. And I didn't believe this whole like waitlist thing, right? But then we started calling and calling. We couldn't find
Nobody was trying to give us any
no
play.
one. Yeah, okay,
Not one
so
bit.
Axel turned 1, and that's when we started calling all these places, and we found like a few that were around us. So we actually were looking at only home daycares. We did not call any facility daycares. Honestly, because we wanted to find a caregiver that spoke Spanish. So Axel, for some reason, and Arya was not like this, but Axel, for some reason, prefers to talk Spanish and like
Yeah.
to be talked to in Spanish. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's
But-
fucking hard because it's like sometimes, like, you know, I know how to speak Spanish pretty good because that was my first language, so I had to learn how to speak English. So when I'm talking to Axel, I sometimes I just talk to him in Spanish because it's easier because he's like a little Mexican kid. That's all he wants to speak. But then sometimes like it's hard for me to like unprogram my brain to be like, oh shit, like the reason why he's not listening is because I'm not speaking Spanish.
It's just so weird. I don't know. But like, we'll ask him like, Axel, say this. He won't say it unless you say it in Spanish, and then he'll repeat it in Spanish.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
But this is
Axel
the thing.
doesn't
It's
wanna
like he
speak English.
speaks English.
He
That's what-
does.
He speaks English. He knows English. He
He just
understands it. He
prefers
just prefers to speak
Spanish.
Spanish.
So that's why we were looking for like a caregiver who speaks only Spanish. Just because he's gonna learn English like when he's
Yeah.
with us at home, you know.
And luckily, we found someone who was bilingual.
Yeah, so she speaks both, but she does speak like mainly Spanish. So yeah, we were looking at home daycares only, not
Yeah.
the facility ones. And we contacted this lady when he was 1, and she was like, no, I don't have a spot for a 1-year-old. I only have a spot for like a 2-year-old. And she's like, if you want, I'll put you on the wait list, and then I can give you a call back like whenever I have one. And I was like, okay. And this was in the summer, and so she was like, I usually have
2021.
yeah, 2021. And he had just turned 1, so it was like July. And she was like, I usually have spots open in like August
Like in
because
fall,
kids go back to school. Yeah. And some leave and then spots open. And I was like, okay, cool. So I was expecting to call like a month later. Nothing. So then I call her
Nada.
back. I call her back like at the end of the August, and I'm asking her, and she's like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I still don't have anything. I'll call you as soon as I do. And I was like, okay. And I was between her, another lady. It was 3 ladies that I found like that were around us.
Yeah.
I was on the wait list for all 3 of them at the same time. And I called all 3 of them. At the end of August, none of them had it. Then like I waited like a couple months, called them back, nothing. Waited until he was 1.5, which was January. Nothing. And then they were like, oh, maybe March. And then I was like, okay. Then I called back March.
Nothing.
All 3 of them still had nothing. And then finally he turned 2, and I called the
Which is this year.
which was just 2 months ago. And I called the lady back, and she was like, you know what? I might have an opening. Like, she's like, you're literally next on the list. I might have an opening. I'll call you back. Like, let me call this mom and ask, like, if her kid's still gonna come or not.
Yeah.
And then
at that point, we were just like, man, she's
we're
probably
like,
gonna blow,
nah,
she's probably
she's
gonna
gonna
blow us
say
off,
no.
Yeah.
And then she called us back and was like, yeah, like, she said that her kid isn't gonna come after like this day, so he can come anytime, like starting, you know, whenever it was.
Yeah.
And then I was so freaking excited.
So we took him to go meet her. And
Yeah, because Arya was gonna obviously go back to school, and so I was like, Axel's gonna be here by himself, like, you know, while I work. First of all, no one talks about how fucking hard it is to work with a toddler. When you're working, you have a full-time job. Like, you know, other than being a mom, you have a full-time job and you work remote, and you have a toddler at home. Like,
and
fuck.
dad. I'm just saying mom, because dads have to go through that too.
No, but you don't work from home.
No,
is
but I'm
what
saying like the dads that do work from home. Because there's still dads who
Oh,
work from home.
okay, yeah, okay. Dads that work. Okay, dads that work from home and take care of their
Shout out to
toddlers.
dads.
Okay. Anyway.
Dads that are involved.
Anyway, so I was doing it. Okay,
Right.
since he's been born, Axel was home with me 24/7, and David was actually home with us. Ever since the pandemic started, me and
Yeah,
David
for 2
had been
years.
together, and then David returned to the office in January of this year.
And then January.
But Axel was still home with me, just me and him, while Arya was at school the whole time. And then summer happened, so I had
And you were
both of them.
struggling though.
Oh my
Like, man.
god! I literally
Like,
told David,
fuck.
like, yeah, I should be fine. Like, if he's home.
There was a
with
couple
me.
times where Buzz
Heck
was like, there was a
no.
couple times where Buzz was like, hey, like, I might have to quit my job. or like,
I know,
or we
dead
might have to
ass,
like,
it's so fucking hard. It's because you know what triggers me is some people will be like, oh, you work remote and you take care of him. Like, oh, you're so lucky because you work remote and like he gets
Yeah.
to be home with you. Like, what is that? No, like, what does that mean though? Because just because I'm at home doesn't mean like I'm struggling to work. Like,
Or you're
because
not
I
struggling. You're
am.
not struggling.
Huh?
That you're not struggling because you said
Yeah, like I'm not struggling to work.
Yeah.
Because I am struggling. Like it's so hard, like to have a kid, because you can't be working and taking care of your kid at the same time. Like it doesn't work. I don't care what anybody says. Like you can't do both at the same time. It's either you're giving like all of your attention and something to one thing or the other. It's not both.
What we like used I've to tried do, it. Yeah, like what we used to do when I worked from home. It's like in the morning, because I would start earlier than Belinda. So like I would literally just start, knock out like 2 hours worth of work, and then I would hang out with Axel, and then while I'm doing that, Belinda's knocking out 2 or 3 hours worth of work, and then we'll switch off. Then I'll go back, and then we did that for like fucking
like a year and a half. It was a year and a half.
And I was working 2 jobs too at that time too. So
so we did it together, but like once it was just me, absolutely not.
And that shit was hard when it was just both of us. So I can only imagine the shit when it's like just
there were
one
some
person.
Days where I was like, David, I have to quit. Like I have to quit because I was taking phone calls and you can hear him crying. He's crying. He's always crying. So like he's crying about something. Like he's a mama's hungry. Boy. He's a mama's boy.
So like he's
attached to my head.
Yeah, like he constantly just wants to hang out with her. Like he doesn't.
And
even,
I love it. But it's like, damn, like, dude, you gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, it's not even like he like needs to like be legit 100% interacting with Belinda. He just wants Belinda next to him.
Yeah, like he just wants me to hold him. Like he needs to be with me.
Like if he was like awake in here right now, he would just be like chilling right here.
Right here.
He won't even say anything. He'll just sit in Belinda's lap.
He won't even like it. As long as I'm somewhere, Axel is right there. Yeah. Like David could be sitting down, like, you know, relaxing or something. He won't go with him. But if I'm sitting down relaxing, like he grabs his blanket and he comes up to me. He's so attached to me. But it was so hard because I would be taking calls and he's like crying. And I'm on meetings and like, because you're remote, like they make it where your camera has to be on, like camera on is required. So I used to put him down for naps, like whenever I knew I had a meeting.
If he would go down.
And it was if he would go down for a nap. Like it was just so hard. And I was like, there was a lot of like, I was crying almost every day because I'm like crying to David, texting him like, dude, I can't do this. Like, I think I'm going to have to quit.
I'm at work just like, I don't even know what to do. Like,
yeah, because you don't know what to do.
Yeah, like I don't want to respond and be like, oh, don't worry about it. It's going to be better, because it's like at some point it's just kind of like,
and
it's
I
not
feel like
gonna get better, you know.
I feel like because David knows too how like Axel is that he's like, fuck, like she's going through it, you know. And I used to honestly like do some work in the morning and like, you know, get it done before he would wake up. And then once he would wake up, like I would feed him. And then at some points of the day, like I would take my laptop outside, let him play, you know, take him outside on my lunch. We'd go for walks and stuff like that. But then honestly, it was getting way too hard. Like the workload was just like, it was too much. So,
and then Belinda went through a thing at work where like they were going to give her more responsibilities and she was potentially going to get promoted.
And I really wanted to like volunteer to do more things. But then I was like, honestly, a lot of, there was like a long periods of time where I couldn't volunteer to like take on like projects and stuff like that. Cause I'm like, fuck, how the fuck am I going to do this project when I got this kid at home?
So
like,
literally like we got the call back from the daycare.
I was so excited.
Like legit at the time that it was supposed to happen, you know, because
because I got that task, like that project, and right as that happened, that lady called and was like, "I have a spot," and I was like, "Oh heck yeah, girl!"
I feel like you've told me that like since Axel's been in daycare full time, that like your productivity level came up like 100%.
Like I'm by myself, I'm vibing, like I'm getting the work done.
I'm at work.
I feel good, like I feel really good, like I'm able to do my job, you know.
That's good.
And I feel good knowing that like Axel's having a great time too. Like he's meeting new friends, like, and he's playing with them really good. So
learning more Spanish.
Yeah, learning more Spanish. Honestly, like, but so Axel actually cried every single day
for like a month.
It was like 3 weeks, almost a month.
I would do the drop-offs. It was a month. It's a fucking month.
He was crying really bad. Well, you know what though? Arya actually cried every single day for a month too.
And I would do the drop-offs.
She was 3. No, I did drop-offs. I did drop-offs. We kind of switched on like pickup. Yeah.
Arya, yeah.
But yeah, she would cry every single day at drop off. And you know what? Arya actually used to cry at pickup too. So I was actually expecting Axel to cry at pickup too. I
'Cause
actually
that's
see
normal.
I see lots of TikToks
Well, it's normal.
of kids crying at pickup. Yeah, because they're so emotional and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they think like, oh shit, my mom did come back.
But
But he didn't cry at pickup. Like he saw me, he grabbed his shoes, grabbed his
He's like,
backpack,
"Let's
and he's
go."
like, "Let's go, mom."
he's like, "Vámonos." He said, "Vámonos."
Yeah, he was like, "Let's go, mom. You ready?" And yeah, it was fine. Like
he walks out like, "Hasta mañana."
okay, so there's these little kids. They're not Mexican,
Don't
okay?
say their name.
I'm not gonna say the name. They're not Mexican, but they're the cutest little kids ever. Like, so the lady, she obviously speaks Spanish, and so the little kids learned how to speak Spanish. But
Yeah.
I think it's so cool
I think it is cool too.
because
Like,
they're not Mexican, you know. So
but
they,
you could tell like it's because they're little kids, so like they have like the purest form of like just embracing it.
yes,
Like
yes,
they love it. Like she tells us like I feed them like fideo
yes.
and like beans,
I love
rice,
that.
you know, like bistec and shit like that. Like, you know, Mexican traditional food, tortilla, homemade tortillas, and these kids love it.
Yes.
So it's like to see like these kids who like are just embracing like our culture. To me personally, I like that. I think it's
me
cool.
too. Me too.
I think more people should do that, and you know, I encourage.
Yeah,
people.
so these little kids, they're just so cute, and they speak Spanish now because
Yeah.
they obviously go to her. And so every time we leave, they're always like "Hasta mañana, Axel," and they're like adios. Like it's just so funny because it's like these little ass kids. Like I'm pretty sure they're like 3 and 4.
Yeah.
That's what they look like, 3 and
Yeah,
4.
they're brothers.
They're just so cute.
Yeah. And it's just, but like I said, like that's cool, and that's like something that like I would highly encourage like parents watching and listening.
Yeah.
Like, if you do plan on putting you know, your kid in a daycare, maybe look into
Bilingual.
a bilingual
Mhm.
a bilingual caretaker. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, caretaker.
Yeah, like you know, they're
caregiver. No,
caregiver.
caretaker.
Caregiver. I think a caretaker sounds like someone who takes care. Isn't that like someone who takes care of
Oh.
like older people?
Oh, maybe. Okay,
Whatever.
daycare.
A daycare lady. You know, don't shy away from the like the
Our
bilingual.
grammar's off.
Yeah, right.
Another thing too. So we actually started Axel off with 3 days because I honestly didn't know if he was gonna do okay. Like I was honestly really nervous of him going to because he talks, but he doesn't say like sentences. Like he says words, but he doesn't say sentences. He doesn't talk as much as Arya did when she was 2. Like Arya was having full on conversations with us when she was like 1. I just feel like girls are more advanced, but
Yeah.
I was really nervous for him to go just because of everything you see
He
like
does, like,
on the
2
news
word-
and stuff. Yeah, he does like
He
2,
uses, like,
3 words.
2, 3 word sentences
together, yeah.
and he uses his hands a lot. Like,
Yeah, but not like a full sentence like "Mom, this happened today," nothing like that. But I was nervous because I'm like, oh my god, you know, everything that you see on the news of like people mistreating kids and like, what if like you know, he's getting treated bad and he can't tell me? Like that's
Yeah.
what I was nervous about. So I only started him off with 3 days because I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
if he's gonna like it. If he's
Which-
not, like, I'm gonna take him out and stuff. But honestly, like looking back at it, maybe we should have just done straight 5
Yeah.
days. So we started with 3, but we
After,
were
like, 2
doing
weeks.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
No, I think we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday,
No, we weren't.
some shit like that.
Were we?
No,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday. That's what we were doing. We were doing 3 days straight in a row. So
De
there
dos
would be
ni
more
se hace uno.
consistency. What?
De dos ni se hace uno.
Oh my god. So we're doing 3 days
Yeah.
together consistently for consistency purposes.
Yeah.
But then like
So
the
he would-
lady told us that because he was like at home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it was 4 days consistent at home, that once he would go back on Tuesdays, it
he's out of
yeah,
routine.
he's out of routine, and it's kind of
So-
hard for him to get back into routine. And she was like, honestly, I think that if you put him 5 days, he
He'll
would probably
benefit.
stop crying. She's like, he would probably stop crying because he's coming like all 5 days, you know, and only 2 days at home.
Which was a lie. He didn't stop crying right away.
Yeah, he did.
No, it took him like 2 more weeks.
No, what are you talking about? That was at the 4 David's line.
Okay.
He
Like,
did. He
she'll
stopped
sit here and
crying.
defend this kid to the death. Like, she'll defend him to the death. It doesn't even matter.
Don't do my son
yeah,
like that.
okay. Cry baby.
We finna fight after this, just so I know. No, he stopped crying. I don't know what the fuck David was talking about, but he did. He stopped crying once we put him in 5 days. But I think that, yeah, if we could go back, maybe I would just
Yeah,
do
I
5
would've
days,
done 5 days
like
from the
right
beginning.
away, just to get him in the routine with it.
Yeah.
But that's exactly how we did it with Arya. We did 3 days to start. And she was fine, but
But
I
she
don't know.
stayed at
Arya
that,
was more
no?
independent,
But she
honestly.
stayed at like 3 days, I think, because I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know. She never.
we never put her 5
There was no
days.
need.
Oh yeah, because I used to work from home back then too. I used to work from home 2 days a week. And so I would just have her home the 2 days that I was home. But Arya wasn't, she
She
was
was
only,
older. She was
yeah, she
already older. She
was
was like
3
three
and
or
4.
four.
And honestly, Arya was such an easy kid to take. Like even now, she's super independent. She doesn't really,
Need us.
yeah, she doesn't need us like right now, but like only when she's hungry, she's like, "Mom, I'm hungry" or something. But like back then, she was just so easy to entertain that I never had an issue working from home with Arya. But Axel, he's someone else. But yeah, so I don't know. That's what we did. That was our experience with
With
Axel and
daycare.
daycare. He's doing great now. He does good. Um,
Excuse me. I'm coughing a lot.
Speaking of kids, so me and David became first time godparents. I was so excited. So my sister Jocelyn and my brother-in-law Dallas, they are our kids' godparents, and we now are officially their sons' godparents. So we did baptize our nephew Leandro,
Shout out to
and
LG.
oh my
LG the
gosh.
Don.
Oh my god, I felt so great.
Yeah.
So they actually asked us to be his godparents when he was like way smaller. Like it was when he was like born. And we finally got to do like the ceremony, and we got to like actually baptize. We got to dump his head in the water. No, I'm just kidding. David actually, we were like on the way to the church, and David was like, "Oh, I wonder if we get to dump his head in the water." You know, like because they used to do that. Like they used to dump it, like or not their head, right? Like they just, or do they dump their head?
I don't know.
I feel like they used to do something different.
See, look, I seen videos of like fathers or pastors or whatever they are, like just like really like aggressively dumping the kid, dunking them and shit.
Well, I've seen like the godparents have to be the ones to like hold them and put their head in too. So David was like, "Oh, I wonder if we're going to like dump his head in the water." We didn't. They just had like the little cup and they just like poured it. But it was really nice. We had a really nice ceremony, and then like we had the party afterwards. Really nice too. We did the bolo tradition. Where you like throw the coins and like for the kids and stuff, but we kind of did it a little different. And a lot of people actually don't. I don't feel like a lot of people do that anymore, right? Because when I brought it up to David, he was like, "Oh, I don't know, like, do people still do that?" And I was like,
I said, I think so.
Yeah, I honestly haven't seen people do it that much anymore, but we did it because I feel like that's the tradition you have to have. And we, again, TikTok, I found this like the piñata, like the do it yourself piñata.
It's like a bucket that like you cut up and
yeah, like you have to do it like with ribbon and stuff like that. You put like the money in there, and then we put confetti in there. Like so you do the ribbon around the piñata, and then once you pull the ribbon, like you pull the ribbon, right, and it's like hung up somewhere. Once you pull it, the bucket starts to spin, and then the money and like the confetti like goes like flying out, and the kids can grab it and stuff. So that's what we did. It was so much fun. He had a great party. He had, it was a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse theme birthday, because it was his birthday and his baptism together. Dude, David was dying because my sister hired Mickey and Minnie, like the characters, to go to the party.
Like, come and hang out with the kids.
And like they take pictures and like they're like dancing, and you get them for how long was it? Like 30 minutes?
Like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
They were chilling though. So what happened was they I think they called Jazzy and they were like, "Hey, we're here. We're gonna park, some ways away. That way we can get dressed up and we'll walk up as Mickey and Minnie, right?" Well, they ended up going to the wrong shelter, to like the wrong party, which was like a whole other like it's not that. It was far,
so they were missing for like an hour.
They were missing for like an hour because Jazzy and Dallas are like running around like on the phone.
Yeah, like my sister's like at this point she's like, I don't think they're coming. Like
and we're like sitting there just like, what the fuck is going on?
Like where the fuck are they?
And then all of a sudden,
but then like they were on the phone and they asked my sister like, "Oh, do you have the bounce house?" And my sister was like, "Yeah," because she did have a bounce house. She had like a whole soft play set. And actually, I'll put the Instagram handle in the description for the soft play sets. We actually order from Happy Me Mobile. I think I forgot exactly how I'll put it in the description, but we actually order their soft play sets every single year.
All the time.
Amazing. Like, they're so good. They come, they set it up.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10, 1,000 out of
10 out of
1,000.
10.
They come, set it up, and then they come and like pick it up, clean it
Yeah.
up, and stuff like that. Honestly, amazing soft play sets. Really nice owners too. So we'll put that in the description. But yeah, we had this soft play set and it had like a little bounce house. So my sister was like, "Yeah, there's a bounce house." But then we turned around and we're looking at the other shelters, and all these other shelters had the bounce houses.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, well.
So we're like, damn, Mickey and Minnie out at somebody else's party for free.
And then finally, like, you know, we get them to come to the right shelter, and you just see them from like a mile away just walking. And guys, this is like in the middle of July.
Yeah.
And like,
it was the beginning of July.
If anybody knows,
it
like,
was boiling.
In Illinois, July is fucking humid. I'm talking about like humidity, like your balls are sticking to your leg.
I was like, man,
like, it's horrible.
They gotta be getting paid good to be wearing this outfit.
This Mickey, shout out to whoever played Mickey that night, because, bro,
man.
I saw my man's was sweating.
Like, so he like walked in front of us, and you can see the back of his head. Like, oh my god, he was drenched in sweat. I felt so bad.
I was like, damn.
Afterwards, we like offered them water,
we gave him cold waters and shit, and then he like Mickey got so happy. But
dude, we felt so bad. We were like, holy shit, it's because they came walking from who knows where.
Yeah, so they were probably already entertaining some little fucking kids over there
for free,
for fucking free. And then they walk like half a mile back over to where we're at in the fucking heat, fully dressed up as Mickey and Minnie Mouse, and then they come and still entertain us for like 35, 40 minutes. So it's like. And then on top of that, they're like still dancing, still doing the hands, taking pictures and shit like that.
It was so hot.
And then like, if you can like kind of see through like the eyes. So like me and Austin were like looking at her like, yo, my man's off a beam or something. He's in that bitch sweating.
I felt so bad. I was freaking dying though. Like, I was like, man, where the fuck were they? Like, and it was so funny because you could see them walking down from a different shelter, like from all the way, like super far. And like, it was just so funny because I'm like, I turned around and I'm like, oh, there they are, like walking from God knows fucking where. It was so fucking funny.
I used to work. I feel like I probably told this story on here before, but I used to work at Chuck E. Cheese as when I was like 16 years old. And I used to have to dress up.
Can you imagine wearing that costume outside in July?
That shit was so fucking hot. In an air conditioning like building where like you're dancing with these fucking little kids. It's fucking hot. So
it makes you think, right? Like the characters at Disney. Like Florida? Fuck.
No, but they switch out. They have like they take turns. Like these people aren't taking turns. Like they're like legit like 45.
Freaking Disneylands to like get your autographs and pictures with the characters. It takes so long because they switch out every like 10 minutes.
They say like, oh, they gotta get a drink of water. When in reality, they're just like switching.
They're switching. Yeah,
they're rotating the people.
But still, those 10 minutes, man, it's boiling out there.
It's fucking hot
for them to be in those costumes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it was a really great party.
Shout out to Mickey and Minnie. They slid for the gang.
Shout out to Mickey and Minnie. They was sweating. Yeah, it was a really great party, really great ceremony. I loved it. How do you feel like being a godfather?
I like it. You know, I think that it's one of those things that's like needs to be taken kind of like serious.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely not one of those people that thinks like, oh, you just say
for the title.
You say you're a godfather and shit like that.
There's people like that,
and that's cool. Like if that's like the relationship that you have with the people whose kid you're baptizing and shit like that. If that's how you work out. I think that like, you know, to me it's a little, at least, you know, like I saw my godparents growing up. And I had a good relationship with them even up until I was like almost an adult and shit like that.
Right. So I didn't. Yeah. And so me and David are the opposite because he grew up and he did get to see his godparents, stuff like that. I don't even know. Well, I know who they are. I'm not going to lie. I always forget their name because I don't see them. I don't talk to them. I obviously saw them when I got baptized. And then I only saw them for the first time. I think it was like 2 years ago or like 3 years ago, actually. Like 3 years ago for the first time ever since, I don't know, I got baptized probably. Yeah. And so like that like really bugs me too. Like I always tell my mom like, damn, Mom, why you pick people like I wasn't even going to like grow up with and stuff.
Like with me too though, like I was friends with my godbrothers.
Yeah.
You know, shout out Noe and Renee. Like I grew like especially like Noe, like he was always around me, and I would always hang out with him and his friends and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
he legit treated me like I was his brother. So that's what I'm saying. Like because
Well,
of
I
that,
have god siblings too.
and you met him, right? Like
yeah,
like
your
you met Noe.
godbrother.
Like he treats me like I'm his brother. So it's like
Yeah.
that's why I think like when you're a godparent, it's serious.
I know my godparents have kids. I don't know who they are
Yeah.
because I don't talk to my I don't even know how to get in. If I actually have tried to get in contact with my godparents just to reach out. I don't know,
Mhm.
but I don't know how to get in touch with them honestly. And I don't think I've asked my parents too. I don't think they know how to get in contact with them either. But
Yeah. Well, if you're listening, hit us up. Belinda's godparents, if you're listening.
So because
we're down for a reunion.
I don't have contact with like my baptism godparents. That like bugs me, right? So yeah. So when it came to our kids, I was like, you know what? I need someone, because you're making this promise to God that you're gonna take care of these kids, and like if something happens to their parents, like you're gonna step in and you're gonna do, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And so like when it came to our kids, I was like, nah, it needs to be someone that my kids are comfortable with, like you know, they're gonna actually take care of them and stuff. And I see a lot of people too where like they like pick the godparents like when you're pregnant before the kid is even born. Honestly,
That's way too early.
you should wait until your kid is born and see who's actually present, who the fuck is active in your kid's life.
Because
before
people
you're gonna
that like
pick a
Belinda used
godparent.
to talk to when she was pregnant and all that stuff, like half of those people are not even around anymore.
So definitely wait, like but luckily, you know, we have my sister, and my sister's my best friend. She's always going to be in my life. So, you know, we got my sister and then my brother-in-law. That's who we picked for our kids' godparents. And honestly, like everything, like all of our expectations that we have for godparents for our kids is the same expectations that my sister and my brother-in-law have for Leandro too. Yeah, like I feel like the biggest thing like us four can agree on is presence. Like presence, like being there, and like just spending time with the kids. Like I feel like some people just, you know, want to be a godparent for like the title. And yeah, it's honestly like
it's one, like it's like I said, it's one of those things where it's like, to me it's more than that. It's definitely like, you know, because like if you pay attention, if you go through like a Catholic church like we did, you know, they make you take classes and shit like that, and you go through it, and one of the points that like they like to emphasize that is like, you know, you kind of have to like help lead these kids on the right path. You know, so it's like it's one of those things.
They
where,
ask you like all these questions.
You gotta be a part of like, you know, leading them in the right way, and you know, at least me personally, that's what I want to do and shit. So yeah, we did that.
Yeah, so we are godparents. It was awesome. We had a great time. Okay, so I posted this picture on Instagram.
The third thumbs up.
I posted this picture of me and David when we were 16, and it was like one of those where like you add your picture and the caption said
it's like one of those like collage things that they do on Instagram and like on the stories where it's like put a picture of you and your partner from 10 years ago, or like you and your best friend 10 years ago.
I don't remember exactly what it said, but it said something like post you and your person other, like I think it may be like in high school or something like that. And so we were 16, and so I posted this picture of us, and then I wrote my own caption, and I was like an hour after this we were running from the cops. And a lot of people remember exactly what happened this day, but a lot of people were like, wait, what? Like, why were you guys running from the cops? And so do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I actually told like,
so there's like two sides to this story. I feel like there's like Belinda's like point of view, and then there was like my point of view.
Oh well, yeah, I was there.
Yeah, so like there was 2 points of view. You say yours first, and then I'll do mine.
Well, okay, so we were at this family party. Okay, we're 16, and
this is the first time I had asked you to like be around my family.
Yes, this is the very first time that I was gonna meet David's parents and his siblings. He took me to he had a family party, and so he took me as like his date
+1.
And his sister went to go pick me up, and then we get to the party. It was fine. Like I was honestly really nervous to meet his parents, and then once I did, I was honestly really well, I actually really thought like your dad was super super nice, and like it was fine, you know, but I was intimidated by David's mom.
Talk shit about Guadalupe?
No, never. But I was just like really intimidated by her, because David's mom has this face where like you can tell she's looking at you, like, trying to, like, feel you out, you know? And, like, I was like, oh, my God. Like, I don't know if she's going to like me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I was, like, really nervous, right? And then I meet his parents and I met his siblings. And David has a huge family. So I met, like, all of his, like, nieces and nephews. And it was honestly just a lot, you know, like, meeting his whole family. So, because I only have one sibling. It's just me and my sister. So, like, David meeting my sister, my mom and dad.
I was like, this is it.
David was like, that's it. That's it. That's all you got.
Like, where's everybody at?
Yeah. And then, like, I walk in and, like, his nieces and nephews right now, like, the count is about, like, 40. Probably, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's got, like, 40. Yeah. His parents have, like, 40 grandkids. Like, it's crazy. It's a lot. But, so I'm meeting all these people and it's, like, super overwhelming. But it was fine. And then, you know, we're teenagers. So we're, like, just hanging out, like, by the doors of the hall.
So the way this hall is set up is, like, you had to go up, like, 2 sets of stairs and then you get into the room. And Belinda...
We were at the bottom of the stairs by the doors.
Yeah.
And then these guys come running down, and one of the guys, like, bumped me because I was closer to the door. Mm-hmm. And so the one guy, like, bumped me, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck? And it was a guy that David didn't like. Well, it was a group of guys that David didn't like.
Well, I didn't know that they were there.
Right. So we didn't even know they were there. We didn't even see them at all.
This is the closest you guys are going to get to one of these stories. So enjoy this story, because I remember I told you we're not talking about this shit. But this is the closest you're going to get.
So then, like, David's friends, I don't remember exactly who was there, but someone, I don't know, someone came running down and was like, oh, like, this dude said this, this, and this. And so that guy is, like, running towards the guy. Yeah. And so David got mad that the guy, like, bumped me. And then he's running down the stairs, and I'm talking to Belinda, and me and Belinda are having a conversation, and we're not even, like, paying attention to what's going on. All of a sudden, like, I see some dude just, like, running down the stairs, and, like, he bumps us. But he bumps Belinda, like, pretty hard, to, like, the point where, like, Belinda kind of, like, almost falls into me. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And I, like, look, and I'm thinking, like, it's probably, like, one of my cousins or something, and... You know, so I started looking around like, what the fuck? And then somebody screams like, yo, that's so-and-so from so-and-so. And I was like, what? Oh, okay,
and we didn't know that they were there.
We didn't know that they were there. They were actually getting kicked out.
Yeah.
And that's why...
They were getting kicked out.
And I think some shit had happened between them and somebody else. And as they were running out...
They were like, it's so-and-so, and they're getting kicked out or whatever. But they bumped me. Yeah. So David took that personal.
So I took it personal. But I didn't realize... When they bumped Belinda, I didn't know that that's who they were. It wasn't until after somebody had yelled, yo, that's
like, David just thought that somebody bumped me, like, on accident.
Yeah, so I was like, what the fuck? Like, yo, like, I think I screamed, like, yo, watch where the fuck you're going.
Yeah.
And then that's when somebody was like, yo, that's so-and-so. And I was like, okay, cool. So I ran after him, and I don't know why the fuck I did this shit. Like, I ran up to, like, a group of 5 of them.
One thing about David is he's gonna fight. Like, he always has to fight. And
I used to. So I run up to him, and I said, who's such and such from such and such? And he said, me. And I said, you're a bitch. And I punched him. And we started getting into a fight.
It was about, like, what, 10 guys?
It was 5 of them. It was 5 of them.
But, like, fighting you was 5.
Well, this is how it started. But
there was another group.
This is how it started. And I'm not just saying this shit because, like, I'm the one telling the story. Like, I start beating the fuck out of this dude.
No, he was.
I was beating the dog shit out of this kid. He wasn't able to hang. I hit him in a way where, like, it almost, like, honestly, like, if my hand didn't slip barely just enough from, like, I probably could have killed him. And then his dude saw that, and his dude started jumping.
Maybe we shouldn't say that.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, whatever. So then all that happened. Well, this was such a long time ago. Who gives a fuck now? You know, it's fucking,
statute of limitations.
It's way over. It's way over for this shit. Fuck it, it's staying. So all this happens, and then his dude starts jumping in. So I'm fighting like 3 guys at the same time as like somebody who I know is like tackling me. And
yeah, there was someone on his back.
And then there was somebody, and then we started like fighting in like a shopping area. It was like there was like a grocery store right next door to this hall, and we're
they're
fighting
in the parking lot.
And we're in the parking lot just fighting, and I'm still holding on to the dude who I initially fought. At this point,
but then there was someone on your back, and so then that's when I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I ran and I jumped in David's fight,
and I told Belinda, I'm like, stop. I'm like, stop fighting. I'm like, just stop. I'm like,
David was yelling at me like, go away.
Like, this isn't what this is about. and me and dude are fighting, and I'm still holding on to the guy who I initially started the fight with. I'm holding on to him, and everyone's fucking me up as I'm fucking him up, and then we crash into like a stop sign. Like, you know, it was already like bent over, and that stop sign, I don't know how the fuck that stop sign fell over, and somebody whacked me in the face with the stop sign.
Yeah, and then because I was trying to help David get up, and I was like trying to help him because at this point he's like on the floor, I got fucking hit, and then it pissed David off, and he like jumped up right away, and then you started like beating the dude again, but then I was like, holy shit, like I just got hit, like, and I got hit really fucking hard, like really hard, and David saw me get hit, so he was pissed, and then he got up and like, oh my god, it was like at this point when I got hit, David saw it, he got pissed, and like I could see how pissed he was. Like I was honestly kind of scared because I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have gotten in this fight. Like I don't know why the fuck I jumped in this fight, and like and knowing who you are and like the people that didn't like him and stuff, I was like, oh no, like why'd I jump in this fight? And then all of a sudden, like I see David's mom, I see David's sisters, like his brothers, bro. Let me tell you, like. I turned around and like I'm just kind of like feeling like my head because I got hit really hard, and then like I saw David get up, so I was like, okay, David's fine. Like I'm gonna step back at this point, and I turn around and I see David's like sisters come out and they start beating these dudes too. Like David's sisters jumped in the fight too, so I was like, oh lit, like these people are lit. Like I was like, man, this is the family I want to be in. And his family was so lit.
So. During this time, I had only been out for like a month.
So David was freshly out.
I had just gotten up. This story literally happens after
David was on probation.
After like what was our
this was
episode?
A month.
Episode 5?
This was a month before episode 5.
This was a month. No, it was a month after.
No. This was October.
Exactly, and we got together in September.
Oh, you're.
So I'm saying, like, sorry. I thought you meant chronologically episode.
It's because it's really hard because every time we talk about like whenever me and you were in trouble, me and David have been in trouble with the cops together plenty of times, and every time I'm like thinking like, remember that time when we got in trouble with the guys? Like me and David are always like, which time?
So but like, if you guys go back to episode number 5. This literally happens a month after that. So
right. Because episode 5 talks about how we met and like when we how we started dating. Yeah, this is
like the MCU, and this is the way it connects to like episode. This is how movie 19 connects to movie number 5.
Okay, so David's family comes out and his sisters start beating these dudes. Like I don't know. I thought it was really like. Yeah. I just thought it was cool because I'm like, damn, your sisters got you like that. You know, like that's lit.
There's actually a funny story that follows after that. So a couple months later, I start working at a factory that my brother-in-law got me in. Not my brother-in-law, my godbrother got me into. And I actually became really good friends with the dude's brother who I ended up fighting that night.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
And then I remember him asking me about it. He was like, hey, we were talking about where we're from and all this and that. And, you know, and then he gets to asking me like, oh, do you know who my brother is? And I'm like, who's your brother? He told me his brother's name. I said,
Awkward.
Yeah, it really was. And then he just starts busting out laughing. And he's like, bro, I can't wait to tell my brother that I'm friends with you.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
So one of the other guys in that fight was your cousin. Yeah. But he was friends with the people that didn't like David. So that's why David was like, I don't give a fuck if you're my cousin, we're for the fight. Yeah. And I was like, damn, David, you're gonna fight your cousin like that?
This is the thing. It's like when you are in that life, it doesn't matter. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's besides the point. But
it was crazy. Okay, so then like David's beating this dude's ass, right? And then, like, you can hear the cops coming. And, like, the sirens are going off, right?
I'm on probation.
I'm on probation.
I'm on an intense level of probation where, like, I'm checking in every week. Yeah. Like, I have to go. I have to show my face. I have to test
He
everything.
Can't have, like, no bruises, no nothing.
I can't have no gang contact. I can't have no police contact. I had to literally call them and be like, yo, I'm staying out for a family party.
Right.
And they had to approve me going to the family party.
Yeah, and so then like the cops are coming, you can hear the sirens, and then the guys, they get up because a lot of them were on the floor at this point, and like, they get up and they start running.
Like little roaches.
I looked at
like little roaches, like the cockroaches that they are.
I looked at David and and he was bleeding. So I was like, oh shit, like, you know, the cops are coming and he's bleeding and he's on probation, like he can't get caught. And so like then me and his sisters were like running him to the bathroom inside of the hall, right? So we actually ran into the girls' bathroom because his sisters were like, he can't go in the men's bathroom, that's where they're gonna check. So they were like, they're not gonna check the women's bathroom, like, you know, that's not where he's gonna be. So we ran into the women's bathroom.
Hold on, before I went into the women's bathroom, it was...
Oh, yeah, we cleared it. We asked everybody to get out, yeah. Everybody knew, like, because this was actually David's, like, immediate family party, so everybody knew David's in trouble, y'all gotta get out.
Which is, like, another reason why, like, I don't even know how those fucking dudes got into the party because they...
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a party, so I don't know, I just feel like people just show up, you know?
Slipped through.
Yeah, but, yeah, so we made sure, like, everybody was out, and everybody knew to, like, run out and, like, help David, right? Yeah. Crazy. But so we're like cleaning him off, getting the blood off of him and stuff, and then we like waited for the clear that the cops like were no longer inside and they were like all outside, and then we like cleaned him off, and then his sister was like, let's go, like we gotta run, and like then we start running to the car. Dude,
my sister Mariah. Oh so we're all in the car and we're driving.
We're quiet. Like we ran in the car, and Mariah was like, she was like, put your heads down, and like so we had to like literally go all the way down just so that the cops wouldn't see like we were in the car and stuff, and because they were looking for him.
Yeah, like at this point, like I'm still like super hot with the police. Yeah. Like they know who I am. They know like all this shit. Every single time I would go out, they would like stop me, fuck with me, and ask me questions and shit. And so we're driving, and I remember it was just like super dark. It's like it was like maybe like 1 a.m, and we're just sitting there. And then
it was way earlier than that. We barely lasted at the party. Really? Yeah,
I don't know why, but it was super dark outside.
It was fall already, so that's why it was dark. But we're in the car, and his sister's like, put your guys' heads down, like don't get up until I tell you. And so we're like, just like, I'm telling you, like it was the most awkward car ride I've ever been in. Like we're so quiet, and like, and then she finally gives us the okay, like we're okay to put our heads up, right? And she's like, I'm just gonna drop you off at home, okay? And I'm gonna take David home. And I was like, okay. And then like it was quiet, and then Mariah's like, she's like, welcome to the family. And I was like, okay, thank you.
If this was like an episode of like Curb Your Enthusiasm, this is where like the theme music just starts playing.
Yeah, it was so fucking funny, like the car ride. But like me and David didn't say anything the whole car ride because, well, I had gotten hit, so I was like, damn, why the fuck did I jump in that fight? But then the other part of me was like, damn, this family's lit as fuck. Like, I want to be in this family for life.
So, I mean, you are now.
Yeah, and then like, then I get home and like David's saying bye to me and stuff, and then I walk in. I knew it wasn't late because when I walked in, my mom was like, oh, you're home already? Like, I expected you to be home later. And they don't know this story either. They don't. My mom's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Like, oh my god, my mom's gonna add another reason why we should have been together.
Yeah. But then, so like all that happens, and I remember just like I think like 3 days later, I had to go see my probation officer.
Your sister had to cover it, right?
And she tried to cover it, so I tried to put makeup on the bruise because I had like a super like bruise coming from like the top of like my eyebrow all the way down my cheek. It was pretty
bad, yeah.
And it was from when
the stop
sign. They grabbed the stop sign. They literally the part that says stop hit me in the face. I was like, stop.
That day was so fun.
and my probation officer, she's like, what the fuck happened to your face? And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, I was weed whacking. And she's like, what? And I was like, I was weed whacking without safety glasses, and I hit a rock and it flew back and it hit my face. And then she's like, I didn't think she was going to believe me. I swear to God, I didn't think she was going to believe me.
I mean, that sounds pretty realistic.
Because at the time I had put my job was landscaping with my dad. And then which it was. And then I literally looked at her and I'm just like, please believe me. Please believe me. And she's like,
he's going back to jail.
And I'm like, fuck. I was getting ready to go to jail. I remember I told you, I was like, man, they're going to violate me.
Right before, and he was like, hey, like if I don't text back, it's because I'm in jail.
It's because they violated me, and I went back to jail. And then they were like, she was just looked at me and she's like, a rock? And I was like, yeah, like I was like, doing it. And then I don't know what the fuck happened, but like it just came back, so it just smacked me in the face. And she's just like, look, I knew she didn't believe me, but she was just like, okay, be careful.
I know, that was just crazy.
Like, I walked out like that SpongeBob meme, I walked out like, woo! I done dodged that motherfucking bullet.
Yeah, that was crazy. Honestly. Yeah. I know, it was so awkward too, like the car ride home. Yeah. Like,
I hope you guys enjoyed that fucking story.
Because David was like, damn, I don't know if she's gonna still want to be with me or what. Like,
I was definitely like, I was definitely like, all right, like whenever situations like that happen, I tend to like black out. And then I
Yeah.
go in and out of like blacking
Like,
out.
what the fuck
Yeah.
happened? Yeah.
So like a part of me was also, I remember I had gotten home and I had asked my brother like, what the fuck happened? And he was just like, bro, like all this shit had happened, and he was just like, everyone was explaining to me everything that happened. I was like, what the fuck? And like I didn't even drink it. I wasn't drinking nothing. So hard it was like when people are telling me and Belinda's telling me like details of this story, even to like this day, up until this episode, we were like still piecing together the whole story.
Yeah.
Like I still don't remember 100% what happened from the first punch to like the stop. Like I remember
honestly, it all happened so damn fast.
I remember the first punch and me and him are fighting, getting his ass whooped. His friends jump in, stop sign. I like black out. It's like the Incredible Hulk, and then like I just see you getting hit. Like I saw you getting hit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and
David kind of snapped.
There was literally like 3 people like holding me or like trying to fight me at the same time, and I literally just ignored them and ran after. Grabbed the dude that like that punched Belinda, and I like body slammed him onto the concrete.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then, yeah,
here we are,
2 kids later.
Oh my god, so much fun. Honestly, like the amount of times, like it's just so crazy. Like because we're parents now.
So crazy.
So crazy.
So crazy.
We're parents now. We're responsible.
Right.
We're responsible.
Every single time, like I like think about stories like that, or like because like early on,
it kind of worries me because I'm like, oh no, like I was into you, like
no,
you was a bad kid.
Nah, to me it's more like, damn, my fucking back hurts now.
Oh, okay. Like, I was kind of worried about like, oh my god, I hope my daughter isn't, into bad kids.
Nah, I think that has a lot to do with like me being involved. I think being able, I don't know.
No, my dad was involved in my life.
All right, again.
I have a relationship.
I don't know. It's just, it definitely was. Those were like the
and ever since that too, like, because obviously, like, the more I was with David, the longer I was with him. Like, my name is now associated with David's name, and so anytime like there was like police officers around or something, they would see me and they would automatically know like I'm associated with him. So I would always get in trouble. I would always get like pulled over and like asked like for questions and stuff just because I'm like associated with him. But it's just crazy. Like it's so funny to think back like all the times we had like always running from the cops.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys follow us on our socials at We On One Podcast on Instagram. Make sure you guys also follow Hygieia Cold Press. They are the sponsor of this episode. Make sure you guys go to HygieiaColdPress.com. Use code WeOn1 for all your sea moss, protein butters, and anything needs.
Juice cleanses.
Juice cleanses. They work. They work. Believe me, just trust me. They work. Report back. I promise you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.